All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a truly brilliant engineering solution to a massively high-stakes medical emergency. I mean, imagine you're a first responder. You get called out to a scene, but it's not your standard trauma or cardiac event. Nope, it's a childbirth happening right smack in the middle of a chaotic, uncontrolled environment. It's the kind of scenario that demands absolute perfection, but where you literally lack the proper tools.
Picture this exact scenario. An expectant mother is trapped in a taxi during an absolute gridlock of a traffic jam. She's in active labor, her cervix is completely dilated, and this baby is coming right now. The only healthcare professionals arriving on the scene, paramedics. Now, research tells us that paramedics often feel completely unequipped and, frankly, highly stressed in these exact situations. They usually lament how scarce and unreliable their obstetrical equipment is, mostly because they're trained and geared up for trauma, not delivering babies on the side of the road. It's totally terrifying for the mother and an incredibly nerve-wracking moment for the medics.
Which brings us to a massive question. How do we empower these first responders to protect both mom and baby when they are literally the only line of defense? How do we take a completely unpredictable environment, like, the back of a van or a busy highway, and introduce real safety, structure, and clinical accuracy?
Well, let's get into Section 1, Introducing the BBA Prototype.
To solve this massive problem, researchers developed a totally amazing new prototype. It's called the Portable Birth Apparatus, or BBA, and it steps in as a literal lifesaver. This isn't just some minor tweak to existing gear, it's a complete reimagining of mobile maternal care. The researchers actually built this based on a first defense concept. It's constructed out of this beautifully polished stainless steel, specifically Type 316L if you're curious, which means it's engineered to be insanely strong, perfectly sanitary, and completely ready for the rough and tumble of clinical practice out in the field.
Now, the BBA itself has 6 core components perfectly tailored for a roadside emergency. First, you've got armrests with handles, and second, the actual maternal seat. Third is an adjustable backrest with a slide rail to keep the mother perfectly positioned. But here's where it gets incredibly innovative. The fourth piece is a baby tray that actually features a built-in drainage hose. Fifth, to prevent a huge risk, which is newborn hypothermia, there's a USB heat pad that can rapidly warm up from 35 to 37 degrees Celsius in just a matter of minutes. And finally, an oxygen box that covers the baby tray during the rush to the hospital. Every single piece has a distinct life-saving purpose. Oh, and the whole shebang folds up perfectly for easy storage in an ambulance.
Moving on to Section 2, the Paramedic Simulation Trial.
You see, to figure out if this actually works in the real world, researchers ran a rigorous simulation trial. Because, let's be honest, a brilliant design on paper doesn't mean squat if it doesn't help medics in the heat of the moment. So they set up this trial in Chonburi Province, Thailand, bringing in 114 paramedic participants, and they created a highly realistic cartoon-animated simulation, an expectant mother in a taxi, dealing with a vaginal fluid leak fully dilated in the dead center of a traffic jam. They split these paramedics into 2 groups to compare the standard, kind of unreliable conventional setup against this shiny new, highly structured BBA intervention. And they even hid the assessors behind the scenes to evaluate the medics without making them sweat even more.
Let's look at Section 3, Proven Clinical Benefits.
The data that came out of this trial was absolutely staggering. It didn't just kind of help, it completely transformed the clinical outcomes. We saw 4 massive improvements. Number 1, increased paramedic confidence, what the researchers call self-efficacy. Number 2, significantly improved clinical skills. Number 3, highly accurate measurement of postpartum blood loss. And number 4, the successful prevention of newborn hypothermia. The medics using the BBA demonstrated drastically improved skills and a massive boost in that self-efficacy, meaning they actually felt confident enough to succeed under all that pressure. They weren't just scrambling anymore, they were completely in control.
And this data right here brilliantly highlights one of the most critical safety features of the entire setup. Did you know that delayed diagnosis of postpartum hemorrhage is a leading cause of maternal death? A big reason is that responders literally just have to guess the blood loss visually. It's super dangerous. So in the simulation, researchers poured exactly 500 milliliters of red fluid to test this. The conventional group guessed it was around 301 milliliters. They totally missed the mark. But the BBA group, because of that baby tray's drainage hose routing fluid directly into a collection bottle, they accurately measured the loss at over 463 milliliters. They were only off by a tiny fraction. That is vital, life-saving accuracy that an ER doctor is desperately going to need the second those doors open.
Plus, we can't ignore the massive benefit for the healthcare workers themselves. The BBA's drainage system acted like an absolute shield. It significantly cut down the amount of hazardous bodily fluid splashing onto the paramedics' personal protective equipment. The conventional group dealt with way higher fluid contamination. We're talking large spills on their boots and masks. But the BBA's controlled drainage kept the paramedics clean and safe from those biohazards. Oh, and it provided a sturdy surface that actually protected the infant. Get this, in the conventional group, there were actually more instances of the simulated baby slipping or falling? No way, right?
There's a quote directly from the study that perfectly humanizes all these numbers. Intervention groups had significantly higher levels of self-efficacy and skill than control groups. Following the trial, participants in the intervention group reported less stress. Really think about what that means for a second. By simply giving them the right tools, a fold-out tray, a drainage hose, a simple USB warmer, the BBA literally transformed a terrifying situation of fear, anxiety, and potential contamination into a scene of managed, confident clinical care.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to really chew on. What does this all mean for the future of emergency maternal care? I mean, if a portable fold-up steel bed can drastically slash stress, boost clinical skills, and accurately track blood loss on the side of a busy highway, how else can we use simple, brilliant engineering to turn our most chaotic emergencies into safe, manageable victories? It really hits the nail on the head. Sometimes the most profound medical advancements aren't just flashy new medicines, but smarter, more structured designs. Thanks so much for joining me, and keep questioning how we can build a safer world through innovation.